hello, and Assalamualaikum also to everyone here this afternoon. Welcome. My name is Roslyn from MERANTI, and I am hosting the first podcast for MERANTI, and it's called Tidbits. And the fun fact about this program is it is meant to be a platform for knowledge exchange between MERANTI and our panel on a chosen topic for the benefit of the innovation ecosystem. And also, this platform is hopefully and potentially a channel for players and stakeholders to get insights into the innovation and technology ecosystem to support the next steps. So our first pilot episode today, and in conjunction with the International Women's Day, is exploring the groundbreaking work of women in the field of drone tech. If I may, some fun fact about the drone development in this country is that our drone industry is currently flying at a high ranking, which is 21st in the Drone Readiness Index. Yes, ladies. And that is up 30th spot from last year, from being number 30, now we are up to 21. And it is also, alhamdulillah, the top ranked Southeast Asian country in the index. And the global number of total pilots is 720,605. But the number of women that make that up is only 64,979, which is generally 9.02%. It's not even 10%. And also with all that development that we have globally and in this country, remote pilots alone from that number is only 254 and 587, which makes it 7.6% at this point today. Enough about that. I will now, it is my great pleasure to have with me two ladies here. She is Suria Affandi, the Chief Operating Officer of MERAQUE. You have been a drone pilot for more than 5 years now, and I think the top lady in drone out of the 7.6%. Can you tell us a little bit about that, how that became to happen?
Okay. First of all, thank you for inviting. I
Alright,
think it's
you're
a great
welcome.
opportunity having with all the great ladies in
Right.
house. All right. When you say fun fact, right?
Yeah.
So fun fact is something that makes things that you will make yourself lively to be
Of course.
fun about
yes.
talking, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Well, I being in the industries,
Mhm.
right? So how I actually entered to be a remote drone pilot, so-called, right? That was a fun fact because I never dreamt to be a drone pilot.
What were you doing before? I couldn't
Okay.
find anything about you on
Yeah,
the internet.
I was a engineer in background, right?
Okay, okay.
So the fun was actually changing the lifestyle of executing the job
All right.
to be a drone pilot. So
Oh.
how that happens is actually way back,
Mm.
when I do the I'm a civil engineer in practice.
Okay.
So what's my part of my job is actually doing the building facade inspections, right? So
Okay.
those days, what happened was doing this role or doing this job is actually you have to take at least 6 months. So how contributed to the 6 months is like you have to get the regulations of, you have to have your sky leave
That's a long
on board,
time.
you have your scaffolding on board, you have
Yeah.
and everything, right? So all those will makes you able to perform the job of inspections, especially building facades, because you have to do inspection of building facades. So what happened was changing that method of expanding that finishing that 6 months just to complete that job.
One
for
facade.
One facade,
Wow, okay.
and high-rise building. So what makes changing is looking at how myself to improve better in completing the job.
I see. Do you want to do it faster and better?
Of course,
And
efficiency.
cheaper?
Of course, yeah. Of course, efficiency would be one,
Right.
because it was a big challenge getting,
Yeah.
like, approval from authorities. You have
Right.
to go to the BKL and then,
Mhm.
okay, we want to quadrant the roads. Can we close down the roads due to these activities that we wanted to do, the exercise that we wanted to do. So happened though, being a drone pilot at that time was a wonderful and great job, because I can finish all those within 2 months, completely with the
Wow,
reports.
that's about 1/3.
Yeah,
Okay.
right. So that makes the changes, right? Looking at that request or that demand, how efficiently that, or how I could increase the productivity of doing things,
Yeah.
is like changing the whole thing and diverting the whole services of the job skill,
Okay.
being a drone pilot part of. So it's just an additional skill for you to complete your job,
Mm.
being another drone pilot, and that's how you actually upskill the whole talent.
You're not only doing it faster, but you're saving cost.
Exactly.
Kan?
Exactly.
Right. And also we have is our own Nazirah Ali, who is a member of MERANTI, a great team player, was involved in NTIS before, but now she's managing ecosystem development, right? And a critical job here. Maybe you can share a little bit what you were doing before, and then going into that, did you know anything about drones? And I can see your face, and may not. This may take you back history way before then, when like things were different. But yeah, how that journey come about for you, and that you're sitting here today?
I was trained to be an accountant for 20 odd years.
Wow. Okay.
It's all this happened when I joined NTIS.
To be an
Doing
accountant in NTIS,
uh,
you were assuming.
yeah, it's still part of it. But what get me into this drone thing? Dronetech is the second highest application in NTIS,
Right.
and
Yeah.
I've been engaging with CAAM, and the more I learn, what made me become to take the drone piloting course recently, because I see the gap
Mm.
within the industry.
Okay. What comes that?
I am in this government agency, and our job to educate the public
Mm.
about the safety
Understand.
and all that. And when I'm assisting this company, like to get approvals and all,
Mm.
I can see there is a huge gap in understanding the regulations. So what I need to do is I need to go down to the pilot level, to the public, so then they can understand. I can
Yeah.
understand their problem, what the gap
True.
that we having, and then we can help developing the ecosystem.
That's true. As per what is needed by them.
Mm.
And it's the information coming from the ground,
Mm.
being in that course and understanding
Mm-mm.
what are the challenges and the needs.
Mm-mm.
Having the empathy for the challenges of the challenges that these drone technologies are having.
Mm-mm.
Because that's the only way we know how to help them, correct? That's nice. That's really is putting the practice, walking the talk here, because we are always encouraging entrepreneurs to get in the shoes of their customers, and we have to do that ourselves.
Mm.
Yes.
Mm-mm.
Okay. Thank you so much, Nazirah. That's enlightening there. So, fun fact about MERAQUE is that you have just moved another notch up the ranking. You are now the 18th best drone technology service provider by August 2022. Yes, by Drone Industry Insights, and you do also have a 5-year plan that includes expanding into China, Indonesia this year. Is there more to this that we should know about that you can tell us?
Yeah, I think MERAQUE was known originally to enter the agriculture sectors at the
Yeah.
moment. So
Okay.
what triggered us was that time when we starting the services using drones, even though at that time was on the building services, right, on the inspections of constructions as well. But
Yeah.
when 2020 March MCO COVID pandemic hit us. So what happened was friends from other industries start calling us.
Oh,
Because
okay.
why? The huge challenge at that point was the labor shortage,
I see.
right? And that what triggered us on a point that, hey, why don't we contribute solutions for our agriculture industry at that point, so that we can look into a better solutions to enable the operation still ongoing without or with the shortage of labor.
Oh, okay.
So when we decided to enter the agriculture without any knowledge of agriculture, neither an
So like
agronomist,
Nazirah.
neither an agronomist, right? So we started to understand the challenges, right, and
Yeah,
provide the proposed solutions at that point using what we have, and in this case is using drone tech. Right?
Yeah.
So we are performing the sprayings of their pests and disease, fertilizing and others. So looking at that opportunity, I think we are changing the conventional methods of what they have been doing into 5 times of productivity increase.
Wow.
So other than helping or providing the solutions to the industry at that point, we are also actually looking into increasing the productivity in the new way of using technology.
Right, you not only
So-
solve their problem
Yeah.
coming from construction
Yeah,
solution.
yeah.
Did you see then that this solution for the construction industry would have anybody thought that this solution could work across industries?
Okay. Drone is just a enabler to fly.
Yeah, it's just a
Right.
physical asset.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's an object of flying, okay,
Yeah, yeah.
to get the bird eye view
Mhm.
of solutions in providing the data inputs that you need. Right.
So it's the
In
technology in it that
correct.
makes the difference.
So
yeah?
how do you actually implement into other industries, or how do you leverage? How does the drone tech plays in other roles? For example, constructions, we do the photography, videography of the constructions development.
Yeah.
Right, the building pass site inspections as well, right? Goes to telco industries, we do inspections. No more riggers required to climb 2 or 3 times more, because they
Yeah.
would have the visual captured, and they would just need to do the repair. So we try to minimize the hazards of what happened to riggers, right? Because they climbs up, and of course the time they took for climbing a huge tower, for a 4 legs tower would takes them at least 2 to 3 hours. So with drone, it would take only 15 minutes.
Yeah.
Right? Okay, so drop by with that, looking into another industries of agriculture.
Yeah.
So that's where we started to change, and that is where the turning point that we are changing from the normal battery drones to an hybrid drones, because the objective at that point is actually looking into and flying endurance longer, so that
Right.
you can perform the job better
Yeah.
and increase the productivity. So instead of having 8 workers those days, conventional way in the estates, they are now looking into having just pilot and co-pilot to finish the whole job,
That's
which
true.
is 5
That's
times
so
better.
true.
Right?
It's so true.
So changing those, using drone tech helps a lot in other industries, right? So
Yeah.
not only China, not only other countries that it mentions, we also roll out our services under telco servicing. Telco servicings reach us in Philippines, in Cambodia. We are going to Pakistan very soon, next
Wow.
2 months, all right? And in agriculture, we are finishing our Samdabi plantations in.
You
in
just
also-
came from the plantation this
Oh
morning.
yeah,
right?
yes, okay. So it was like nature. That's what we have been doing. All right.
Yeah.
So we are going to heading up to Indonesia and Papua New Guinea.
Wow.
Okay, and some other clients in agriculture as well.
see.
So expanding nationwide, we are doing a very good. Right.
Inshallah, we hope to see that.
All right. Looking at also collaborations with all the agencies and partners. right? This is
Right.
how we are going to develop the ecosystems, as what Puan Nazirah was mentioning.
So Nazirah, do you see this happening in the sandbox? That one maybe a company in one industry crossing over to another industry because of some challenges that happened out there. In your case, it was COVID, right?
Yeah.
Do you come across this in the sandbox itself for teams or startups in there, or still developing at the?
MERAQUE, one of the participant in our sandbox,
Oh, okay,
and
nice.
they commercialize
Mm.
Yeah.
in back in 2021. Mm?
Okay.
And a few companies that commercialize, and yeah, be part of the product that we develop.
So you have a part of this, yes?
Yes, proudly say.
True.
It's a good playground to have
Yeah.
because so many things and so happening so fast, and a sandbox just is what we need to go in there, do it, and test, regardless of what people say at that point, because you see something good that needs to be done, maybe not done yet. Yeah. Oh, that's about the company. Some fun fact about the job. How would you describe a typical day for Suria?
Okay, you know what? Being an operations person, right, and managing drone as part of the job that we need to execute or
Right.
need to complete, right? So, I used to say, or I used to share the corporate video of MERAQUE, and
Okay.
in that video itself, there's a key point or key line, tagline that we use. You know, part of my role is actually making agriculture sexy. That was the key line, all right?
Sexify it.
So,
Right.
okay, being that sexy, it's not about being, agriculture is always known as 3D job. Dirty, dangerous, and difficult job,
yes,
right?
yes.
And usually bringing the biggest challenge is to how are we going to create the pilots? Okay, in this context, of course, we are looking into dual gender professions, right? Either we are looking into male, okay, and female, right? So both to bring back this youth to this agriculture and to bring these local communities as part of their profession job, it's a biggest challenge.
Much more women,
Of course.
Right.
Right. Okay, we have a very small
because you
number
did
of
say in the interview before
Yeah.
that people say some of the drones are so big and you're a woman, and you
Yeah.
did say it does not take much physical strength to operate the drone.
Yeah.
Because you
Yeah.
don't actually carry it around,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
So
yeah.
it's all in the
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just a mindset and how you actually set the objective of you are completing your job. Same goes like those days when I mentioned earlier on you have to do 6 months rather than compared to 2
True.
months of completion, right? It's just a passion of how you want to complete the job. That's your role. So managing operations in MERAQUE, taking back the youth, bringing back them, okay? Because part of our locals, I think we have about 20-30% women, okay, or ladies, and then we have another balance of male pilots.
Okay.
So that was the biggest challenge at that point. To bring the youth coming back is just to change the mentality of how this technology change the efficiency in working.
Yeah, it's I don't know. It's a given that maybe young people think farming is
Yeah.
for the old and the ones
Exactly,
left in the
exactly.
village.
The 3D is always a mindset. Okay, 3D
yeah.
is always a mindset. Agriculture tak glamour, right?
If you do things the traditional way, conventional dengan cangkul dengan
right?
apa ni.
So, but when you bring a technology into that industries, and you get the team completed the job in the easiest way, a very flexible way of how you manning or how do you do your piloting, how do you execute the job will be much more easier, right?
Yeah.
And you will never imagine, oh, this is the way of how we actually work in estates, right? It's no longer talking about how conventional you are previously, but we are talking about how modern and how you can go digitalizations of having a drone tech assisting your job, completing your job we, with a performance-based contract that we got, we are
Mm.
looking into efficiency of committing what we are doing into a very good
Because
performance
it's all
and
about the
results.
outcome, right?
Correct.
How much time you spend at work, how
Yes.
much resources you use, how much money, what you get out of it. If you can
Correct.
do it
It's no longer
faster.
talking about 9 to 5, clocking in,
Yeah,
clocking out.
yeah.
It's more talking about flexibility. You plan your job, right?
Mm.
Because as a drone pilot, our dependency will be on weather, right? We have a dependency on how
Right.
we manage the machines, the
Mm.
drone itself, right? So looking at that requirements, of course, you have to plan as a pilot. You know, how are we going to fly? When are we going to finish? What are our target of KPI to finish, how many
Yeah.
targets. So that's what we are looking at, training the team, training the
see.
pilots. So as a new role of having drone pilot,
Mm.
likely it is a lady or
Mm.
is it a guy, both has no discriminations of doing. It's just a target of how you complete the job.
How would you get more ladies to do it?
Uh,
Starting with Nazirah
yeah,
here.
we have
maybe.
another coming in.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sensing it would be very different in your typical work day. Because, I mean, you're not out there in the field, but you had just completed a certification. Why did you do that? I mean, apart from the fact that you wanted to help those that you're helping through your job role, but where are you thinking of taking this skill that you just...
I think when you get the bugs, then once you got bitten, that's it. It's either you like it
Mm.
or and then you become passionate about it.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not saying that you can be like, I'm an accountant. I just know my numbers.
Yeah.
I don't know my technical things.
You're a very good accountant
No.
in that sense.
It is.
Like Sushi's an engineer,
Mm.
so it probably a bit more applicable and to her.
Mm.
But for me, I'm looking this as a story for my kids. If their mom can do that,
Yeah.
why they can't? And it's a story to women out there.
Mm.
You can achieve anything as long as you put your mind to it. It's
That's
not
true.
easy. Yeah, it's not easy. Raising 2 boys
Right.
and then a demanding workload and try to do your course at night and over the
Wow.
weekend. But when you have the drive to do it, I'm not saying that it's in drone alone, but if you are willing to do something that you like, things like this can happen.
Yeah. But you both went into this knowing that the number of women in this is very low because of some stigma or assumptions. So what made you do that, and what are these stigma or assumptions around women being in the drone space or become a drone pilot? You were sharing that before, why people say it's a man's job and not a woman. But what are the why are there less women taking this up
Okay,
compared to men?
I think for me, looking at Malaysia itself, right, the culture, right,
Yeah.
the resistance challenges that we have is
Yeah.
always like orang perempuan,
Yeah.
like
But
kena
it's not
sopan
just Malaysia, it's
santun.
the whole world.
Yeah, I would tend to agree, right?
Mm.
It's just like when we say that how it's not a discriminations of job levels or professions.
Yeah, I don't think so. Yeah.
It's more about how you drive that passions, right? What Puan Nazirah was saying, you have a passions, right?
Yeah.
So how do you drive that passions, regardless resistance that you have, right? No, people have their negative thoughts.
Okay.
Right.
What
that's
kind of
normal.
resistance have you
All
come
right.
across?
This is more to a very a norm culture.
I
A norm
see.
culture when we look into a woman's, you have your feminine, you have to be
Femininity,
so feminine, right?
Right.
So a very technical outdoor job is always men's. Okay, very likely it's a man's job and everything. But proving that when you have a passion to do something, it can be much better in results. Alright, I think proven anyway. I mean, not to discriminate males,
Mhm.
but I think it's proven. At universities, you have all these ladies. They are all genius. They are
Yeah,
all so
yeah.
good, right? They have that. It's just that a
Performance,
little bit
as
of
in character-wise, personality, maybe.
yeah. For me, if you ask like what Puan Nazirah was saying, yeah, it's the nature of a mother, right?
Yeah.
If you say that you can do that,
Yes.
right? It happens, right? It's just a matter of how you prove yourself, do
Right.
things better. In fact, that's how I influence the team, or how influence the pilots, drone pilots out there, especially right, inclusive my team. So being a woman, if I can perform that job successfully, what makes you stop, or what makes you can't do
Feel that
it?
you can't, yeah.
Yeah. So it's just a passion of how you manage the job, right? And how do you encounter any challenge? That's just very normal when you encounter any challenge. But where
Right.
are you, or who are you with? What experience that you have to overcome that will bring you a best result at the end?
That's true.
Very
That's
true. I
true.
mean,
Yeah.
it's just from a small passions or a dream,
Mhm.
right? It can be another. It will be cascades, and especially to push you beyond the boundaries. So that's what happened to me. In that sense,
Uh-huh.
having that 6 months to just complete one job rather than
Because
now.
does that make sense to
Does
you?
that make sense?
You know it
So
can be
I
done
rather
faster,
spend
right?
that 6 months to complete 3 jobs.
Yeah, that's an entrepreneur
Right?
speaking, right? there.
Yeah. So that's how we would like to compare. If
Mm.
you can do this, or this old woman can do
It's
this.
always a thought that how can I do better, right?
True.
It's always how you
Nobody
can do
wants
better.
to work it in a hard way. So that's
Mm.
the best way of doing.
So more being a mother, you want to be at home as much as you can. Why be 6 months out there building one thing,
Yep.
right? All right, and we were talking earlier about a certain accomplishment that you have done in this role as a remote pilot, and Nazirah also as a future remote pilot, possibly. An accomplishment in your career that you're particularly proud of, maybe within that 5 years that you have done. We have seen like drones being used in various industries. We were talking about that earlier, and there was some natural disasters that we saw a lot of drones contribution to it. Just recently on the landslide that happened at the Genting Sampah, and 2 years before the major flood that took everyone by surprise, that nearly drowned half of the west coast of
Yeah.
Malaysia. So was this a part of that career accomplishment, or something impactful that you have gone through
Okay.
in
I
your
think
career?
taking and what
Share
we have
something,
done,
yeah.
taking what we have done. I think just to set up our role in assisting, especially during the emergency, right?
Yeah.
So of course not in drone agriculture, but it's in
Mhm.
actually drone delivery, where we have
Yeah.
conducted. I think we have a project done together,
Oh,
collaborating
wow, do
together.
share.
So those project is actually we have sending medicine supply, medical
Right.
supplies.
When was this?
From that was 2 years back, right, Puan Nazirah, right? So what happened was we are actually looking into delivery the medical supplies from
Okay.
main island to Pulau Pangkor.
Okay,
So
and why
okay,
did you need to send the medical
right.
supply?
So
What happened?
we are testing a proof of concept,
I see.
whether using a drone delivery is an essentials that we can help in emergencies. So what happened was we are sending from the normal routes of 45 minutes, we are cutting it short to only less than 5 minutes, probably 4.5
So you gotta
minutes to
prove that it
precise.
works.
Yeah,
Yes.
and that was like beyond extended beyond line of sight.
Oh,
So
okay.
we proved that was the first
How far was
drone delivery. I think it took about 5.2 kilometers,
Okay.
but in a way that we have set the flight path so that we can actually exclude all the residentials and others. So
Okay.
we made it. Alhamdulillah, we made it,
Wow.
and it was a success story under Famaniaga. as the co-partner where the supplies of the medicals is actually
It was their
correct.
product.
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. So
I also wanted to add towards that project.
mm,
It's a learning curve for MERAQUE as well. To do the paperwork to get the flying permit.
it's never done before.
It's never been done before.
Yeah.
That's the first.
There's no precedence. There's no guideline,
Yeah.
or there's no.
And it's
template to
very
this.
difficult for the team.
True. Very
It
true.
took that, I think, about more than a month.
So you went in
Correct.
there blind.
Yeah. It's
For
it's just
some parts
to,
of it.
yeah, it's just to convince them
Mm.
this is the success we can do
I see.
using drone delivery.
That's
at
not.
that
That
point.
wasn't
Was
easy,
never
was it?
happened.
I've
Yeah.
never seen
Mm-mm.
it. So yeah, when it comes to something that people have never seen, and to win their confidence and to win their support for you, I don't think that was easy for any of you at that point, was it? How hard was that?
Yeah, I think that was the
I
challenge.
think the challenge was to go back and forth
I see.
Yeah.
to get the approvals.
Okay.
And then I can see the frustration in the team. Do you reach the wanted to walk out? Really?
Oh.
Yep.
Wow.
And at that point, that really hit me when I'm saying, I need to do something about it.
And you did.
And I did. And when the headline came out, woman pilot, I'm like, "Hey, that is so sexy." So I'm like, yeah, I could be one of it.
Yeah, yeah. It was my first and the only at that time when we started to do the drone delivery. Yeah, that's so we meant I'm doing the piloting myself.
Yeah.
So successfully we have completed that job. I think it was published everywhere.
Mm-mm.
It was a success. How we can actually derive getting medical supplies being delivered
And it's
using a
now
drone.
it's done.
Yeah, we have also been
Looking.
assisting a lot especially in the case of emergencies, right?
Yeah.
When you are mentioned about flood, when there's no connection, hard to reach area.
If
So
you go
that's
the
where it could save-
conventional way,
yeah,
it may reach you. It may never reach you at all because so much obstacles, so much time, so much resources needed
Yeah.
to do this.
Yeah.
But how technology can change all that?
true,
Already.
true. It's proven something
Yes.
that we have done.
Is there more? What do you aspire for this for women, or maybe for the industry itself? What is your vision? You know, there are things that you have never seen that can be done, but do you have a vision of that you would like to see happen?
Okay, experiencing the whole drone tech from the early beginning till to
Yeah.
date, right? So looking the opportunity is always raising up, right? It's
yeah.
like it's like developing from one industry to another,
Mhm.
from one solution to another,
Yes.
right? So same goes to how we can get the females or women's in these industries developing more. This is another upskill talents that we can actually enhance, right? I think it's something that we have to look into. Getting the opportunities cascades around across so that we can have a better solutions results and also a balance of the gender professions.
true.
Right
Yeah.
Never stop at one point, because
Yeah.
once you have that passions to do things, the only method change is using the technology. So in this
Yeah.
case, for me, when I actually thought of doing things better, I'm using, or I choose to have that drone tech along with which the skill has been upgraded, the results has been enhanced, and I think we are keep developing that from one solutions to another.
Right. I guess that would be your wise word for women who drone or
True.
women who want to drone, because you have one sitting right next to you. She has done that. What is your aspiration, Nazirah, for these women and for the industry itself?
I think piloting, it's when you talk about drone, it's not only piloting.
Yeah.
There are more to it behind the scene.
That's true. Software
The
development.
software, the MRO, the data, the AI.
Mhm.
So all that women still have a limited numbers in
Yeah.
contributing. Recently, in our World Engineering Day,
Mm.
only a percentage of women that really in engineering. So I'm calling all women out there to join in. You don't have to be a pilot, but you can be in the industry. You
True.
can. This industry is still young in Malaysia and also in the world.
Mm.
And if women can help to spur this technology, I think that is a great contribution to all mankind.
And if you can do it, anybody can.
Yep.
Yes.
True.
Well, we are almost up to the time. Thank you so much. We did speak about the Malaysian Drone Technology Action Plan, MDTAP 30. There is a timeline for us by 2030 to achieve some of the mission in there, and also how MERANTI is also part of this as a coordinating agency, and with our services and facilities and our ecosystem partners, the corporations, academia, together we can provide you in the areas of talent development, market access, test bed, environment facilitation, and there are now 5 sandboxes that you can be part of wherever you are. So do connect with us. How can they connect with you here, or you may just visit our website at meranti.my. And ladies, if there's a way through you that they can connect with.
Okay, for those who actually has that passions, as
Mhm.
mentioned,
Mhm.
right? Do join us, be part of us. Log into our websites, www.meraque.com,
That will be MERAQUE.
MERAQUE.com, and feel free to be part of us,
Yeah.
and we'll actually will make the dream happen.
Oh, inshallah, that's so good to know. And Nazirah, I suppose you, as a MERANTI ant, we call ourselves, we are always here for you to reach out to. And we're on the website, or you can find us anywhere. Technology is there. Most of us are on LinkedIn. Do connect. And what we like to do next is perhaps if you can write in, let us know what are the subjects that you would like for us to explore on this MERANTI Tidbits. We did mention engineering earlier, and we understand there has been some support from the ministry in highlighting that we need more engineers. Probably if you think there is a subject that we can bring to you, and do reach out. And for today, Suria and Nazirah, thank you very much for your time. I know you're very busy, but for the industry, for the women in the industry, you are here sharing with us for the past 45 minutes. And on behalf of MERANTI, I would like really to thank you for your time and your sharing and your experience.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
And for everyone here listening to us, keep connected with us, because this hopefully is a pilot, and we hope to bring this to you every month from now on. Thank you very much, and we wish you a good, productive week ahead.